let's do a show. Right. Featuring retro video game music that is hopefully royalty free. Where are you guys? Where is everybody? Where's my face? Hi! I'm way down here. There we go. Normally I'm standing, but I gotta sit a little bit today. There we go, back in focus. Good morning. Welcome to You Can't Do That on Salesforce. I'm your friendly neighborhood Tom. And today we're starting a new project. It's called Totally Not Notion. Because no cease and desists today. I think Notion is a super cool app. I use it for my personal stuff. And what I think is really cool is, because I'm a nerd, is yes, you can put data in it, you can keep track of stuff, you can make to-do lists and all that fun stuff. And it can kind of become your own personal wiki. That's all cool, but then I have to go and look at, well, how does this all work? Because I think it's cool that you can start a page and then add a block to that page, and that block may be of a certain kind, and then another block is a different kind, and then another block is a different kind. And that's not unique to Notion. Confluence does that, I think. Quip. I don't know much about Quip. I only do Salesforce stuff all day long. I don't know much about Quip, but I think it has a similar kind of paradigm of, a collection of blocks make up a page or a document or what have you. Even Google Docs has started to do some of that with some, components within the content. So as with everything in the world, I have to ask, wow, could I do that on Salesforce? And, let's find out, I guess. So we're going to build Totally Not Notion on Salesforce in today's episode of You Can't Do That on Salesforce. Starting today. I am very confident we're not going to get this done in one episode, or probably one dozen episodes for that matter. Let's take a look at Notion in case you're not familiar with it. And frankly, I need something up on the side here so I can make sense of what we need to make, how we need to make this thing work. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah, let's use it for that. Do we have to do this part? Apparently I don't have an account for, you can't do that on Salesforce, but we're about to. There we go. And, oh, we don't have a screen on yet. Boop. There we go. Start with your team. Notion works best with teammates. I'm gonna skip that. Nope, I want it to be free. And here we go. So here's Notion. So I have, what's the paradigms in here? We won't go through the whole tour. Team spaces, honestly, that's kind of new to me. But I'm making pages, right? And I can put stuff on those pages. I'll give this page a title. And then when I'm done with that, I can start putting something else in here. Or I can click this magic button and it can say, well, what kind of thing do you want to put in here? So I don't know, let's put a heading in. Then it has this kind of nice little command thing. So I put in a subheading. And then we can, here is some content. Seemingly simple, but I feel like there's a lot going on here, especially if I want to say, you know what, let's put a to-do list in here. 1, 2, 3, and then maybe I want to put a, I don't know, yeah, let's put a table of data in here. A1, B2, size that thing. Oh yeah, we can add more tabs. This will not be the first feature we implement. But if I look at this, it's like, okay, this is a block of something. Maybe not. Maybe the title is part of something different. But this is a block on this page. This is a block on this page. There's a block on this page. Here's another block, and I can do stuff with these, right? I can drag these around. Oh, I can drag each of those independently, so that's interesting. Put an empty one in here. I don't know if I want that. Delete that. So that's interesting. The individual checkboxes are kind of blocks unto themselves. Be curious if they, do they have a purpose altogether? What else we got in here? Links, quotes, media. We can put an image in here. Let's put, sure, let's pick something. Hey, there we go. I think I was there. I think that's Dublin. I was there once. Good story. What can I do from here? What else we got? Code. Okay, what's a code block look like? Here is some, for some reason I'm shouting. There we go. Neat. Can change the type of it. So a lot of pretty cool stuff in here, and this is just one page. You can obviously link between pages. Notion has got a ton of capability. It's very popular. They're adding in new stuff all the time. Like I said, I just noticed this team space thing, and there's basically a whole wiki concept in here. And Confluence is very similar. It's a very similar tool, wiki flavor, block style. Move the things around that you want. Let's see, when I do that, so this is interesting. Okay, that's those are nested. Let's move this up here. You can do all that kind of fun stuff. What could we do in Salesforce? How do we build this in Salesforce? Where to begin? We need some kind of structure. We need some data. Obviously, we need to be able to store some data that represents those blocks on the page. Probably need something that maybe represents, I'll go back down to my simple example here. We need something that could represent, the page, the document, whatever we're going to call that. Something that represents these blocks on the page. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's probably all, there's a bunch of HTML here, right, under the hood. But to kind of like activate it and make it, put it in a database, store it, make it flexible the way that it is here. I feel like the elements on the page are actually maybe data points of their own, right? So that I can, this is trivial to move something around, but what if I wanted to like activate this table to be able to do something like, I don't know, show some records in Salesforce maybe, or I want to have a list actually be pulling from some objects, pull a list of objects and tell the app what field is the checkbox. It could be task, could be a custom object, might just be a way to quickly pull some stuff out onto a page, and kind of like what Notion and Quip and Confluence do. They create these spaces where you can work and things like kind of live actively there. So I don't know, let's play around. Let's see what we can do. And let's open the chat window here. I don't want to miss anybody. Boop. There we go. All right, we're all good to go. So let's start somewhere. Should we start on a maybe we want to start in Let's start in our diagramming tool. Let's go over to draw.io. If I can get back over there. New diagram. Let's call this YCD totally not Notion. Root folder sounds great. Okay. Rounded rectangles, so I don't. This rounding's too round. Back to squares. All right, what's moving around here? So we need some kind of page object, I think. Something that makes up this, the entirety of this. And then we call those things inside there. Let's call them blocks. And then a page can have blocks up to its page. Can you get an elbow? Let's see. Doop. Here we go. And then I don't think there's a Notion. See what I did there? So if I'm looking at Notion, Wiki is a page, and then Policies is just a page in that page. So there isn't really like a folder concept here. Like we're not putting things in folders. We're just parenting pages to other pages. So I guess we need, we're gonna need to be able to do that, right? It looks like, so that's a heading 3. It looks like the title is just the title. So you don't, like, if you have a page, you've got to have a title. That seems fair. So maybe we want to start calling out some fields here. Or heck, maybe we just want to start throwing some fields together in our org. Let's fire it up. Real-time design and configuration, yeah. All right, let's, well, we need a page. So the page name, I'm gonna not make the page name be the title because it might be too short, right? So we'll just make the page name be like a auto number. Report on it, activities maybe, field history, sure. Searchable, that might be interesting. Probably want a tab for that. Okay. Now, of course, I haven't done any of the obligatory app setup here. Where's this? I have a piece of paper? I feel like I'm staring right at it. Where are you? Notebook? How about we got a notebook? Pencil? Book? Let's just go pencil. Okay. We don't have to suffer that too much. So I'm gonna get this set up so that we do have to do our usual configuration of permission set and such. All right, so that's a page. We want to put a title. I wonder how long a title can be. Pretty long, but that's kind of ridiculous, right? we can get away with a 255 character field for the title. All right, definitely want to get our permission sets going here. Okay. TNN is a working name, and hopefully we'll come up with something better. Totally not Notion. Okay. And let's get a group going here. Let's see. This will be create a permission set per object, and then also set some different levels here. So we're just going to live in admin land for a little while. Full control over all of the records, all the pages, and yeah, that should be good. Now let's add that group, or add that permission set to this group. Let's make an app while we're out here. Totally not Notion. No profiles, only permission sets. Okay, we got an app. Let's go back to our permission sets. Create a permission set for the app. TNN, the Nashville Network. Boy, does anybody remember that growing up? Country music, before country music was, I don't know, it was the 80s. It was just a different time. No shade on any music, just very different time. Here we go. Okay, so I guess we should probably assign that to my person. Except I can't do that because it's scratch org and it's always weird. So let's go over here. All right, I am now the administrator of Totally Not Notion. We got a page. All right, we're just living in data land right now. I don't know how much of the native UI is gonna be able to replicate what we got going on in here, but and we got our page object. How do you color stuff here? Edit style. Nope. Isn't there like a... Yeah, here we go. Ding. Okay, so the page is the whole thing. Oh, you can add an icon. All right, cool. The page is the page. Can it cover? Ooh, cover picture. What is that? Was that a saddle? Okay. Comment. Can you comment on everything? Yep. You can comment on what you click. Can you comment on the whole section? Yes. And it underlines everything. Discard, no. Can I then comment on a single sec? Yep, okay. Oh, but that's a thread of that comment. Okay. Resolve, a lot like Google Docs. Okay. Okay. So pages, pages can have parents. Okay. So now we can make a parent, a page a parent of another parent, a page a parent of another page. Let's do that. So in effect, in a very, very primitive way, we're starting to build this left-hand column with the page parenting stuff. Now, so what else do we need to know about a page? I'm sure there's plenty, but icons and covers, we could come back to that a little bit. This is a parent, parent, parent. There's some, you can nest as deep as you want, right? Don't see any reason why you couldn't. So no pages inside, okay. All right, so let's take a very data-centric approach to. We're gonna create a whole lot of records. I'm gonna call these blocks, I think. All these things that you can make here. Hey, blocks, how about that? You got basic blocks, you got AI blocks, you got media blocks, you got database blocks. Ooh, what does a database block do? Now I'm excited. AI blocks, advanced blocks. Embed. Lots of stuff. Lots of integrations here. We're not going to have this many the first day. Synced, oh, synced databases. Import. I want to look at one of these tables. Or database blocks. Let's see what those are. Where was it? Where'd it go? I missed it. I'm totally going right by it. Start a new database. Okay, I see. So this is like... Aha. Interesting. That's basically a Salesforce record, right? If we were being clever. A new something. Okay, so yeah, blocks. Let's call them blocks. Let's give ourselves a block object. Let's make block searchable. That could be interesting. I don't think we'll need a... I'm not going to make a tab for now, because I think blocks will always be in the context of pages, right? So speaking of, we probably need a block. Do we want that to be a master detail, or do we want to do anything weirder with these blocks? Could you reuse a block across pages? Maybe. That's interesting. It's probably not what Notion does, but we could do that. Right? Let's do that. Sure. And nothing's easy here on... You can't do that on Salesforce. We wouldn't be fun if it was boring. All right, so we'll make our blocks. They would just be standalone then in that case, right? We have a whole bunch of types. A whole lot of different types of blocks here. Maybe we can just play with a few of the basic ones to start. Interesting that they... So how does this work? If you make a block... Oh, just kidding. That made a whole new page. I see, then it became a link. Okay, well that's neat. We won't do that yet. What do we have? We have text. Excuse me, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Let's start there. Right? What does that look like? Well, we have these types. Easy mode would be to put all the types in a pick list on the block, and then, you know, we can tell it what type it's supposed to be. I wonder if there's anything more we need to say about the type that makes it worth it being its own object? Maybe. Plus, I feel like pick lists are always begging to be their own objects anyway, so we might as well, like, let's just go there. So let's make a block type object for ourselves. And our block will look up to that. I'm going to throw another page in here just to like indicate that we have hierarchy. Then I'll get really particular about where everything is placed on the page because it super duper matters. Okay, block type. Let's make it an object. My gut says we're going to need to store more information about the types than just the names themselves, so it's worth having an object for that. I feel okay using the name, you know, the names here though. So let's go down that path. Probably want a tab so we can manage the types. Oh, I guess that's the other thing. Like we can create our own types if we, you know, if we get to that point. You might as well just start with that concept, right? Like, let's just make the architecture something that we can, that even our default stuff is something we can build upon, like a kind of plug-in situation. Do we have a square? Aha, perfect. Now we do need we need a couple new permission sets here, right? Do I have do I have my YCD tools? Are they still out here somewhere? Yes, they are. Can I haul some of this stuff over? My app maker stuff? Did we end up making, let's see, we made one to create an app, to do a permission set for an app, and to apply the permission set group. Still some more work to be done there. I'm not gonna get lost in that today, but another thing to put on my list to forget about at some point, quickly. Yep. So what do we got? We got a block object now. Hey, speaking of country music. Admin's going to have full access to these. And then let's make we'll make one for block type. All right, and then let's add these to the group. I forget which ones I added already, so it should. Yep, okay. We added 2 and one was already there. Okay, so I've got access to those now. What's going on over here? Something's up with my screen. All right, I think I broke it. There we go. Okay, so we've got, let's see, we got block type. So what's a block type? Well, let's, oh wait, did we make a tab for that? And did I put that in the, permission set? We didn't make one for blocks, but did we make one for block types? Yes, we did. Okay. So I should be able to go back out here and let's need to update the. There we go. There's our block types. What's our first block type? Text. So then I immediately start thinking, okay, well, we probably need a description. Let's go plain text with that. Doesn't have to be super long. Okay, description text is just plain old text. All right, let's make a couple of header types here too. Not much to say about these. Okay. There's all of them. We'll throw the description on here. Cool. Okay, so now that we have types, we have block type, yay. Block's only going to be of one type. I think that's fair to say. So let's have a look up there. Okay. Related list on the block type, why not? A block. All right, so we said we weren't going to have blocks just belong to one page, so we can reuse our blocks. That should be interesting. So we probably need a page block object to put between the two. So in doing this, I'm basically saying, you create a block on one page, you can go use it on another page, and in updating that block, it will be updated everywhere. What could go wrong? Should be fine. Page block, PD. We don't want to, I don't think we need to search on that. We don't need to, no tab for that. Excuse me. Well, we probably should know which block the page block relates to. If the page goes away, the page block goes away, right? That makes sense. Okay, we're gonna, yeah, that's a required field, so it's kind of shows up everywhere. Okay, we'll show the page blocks on the page. Again, not that we're really gonna, there's gonna be some UX mojo wrapped around all this. So now we need the other side of the equation. We need the block. Okay, so let's see, we put that in between there. So this isn't actually what we do. Oh wait, I'm sorry, this isn't actually what we do. We create page block in between these. And then we move everything else around because it bothers me the way it's laid out. That's weird. All right, so the page block looks up to the page and the block. So hypothetically, I could take a block and use it on other pages if I wanted. I don't know if we want to do that, but let's give it a shot. There's a sequence of these blocks on the page. There's also a little bit of hierarchy there, which could be interesting. Can you put a block in a block in a block? Sure seems like you could. So maybe there's a parent concept on the block too. All right, so what would that look like? So we have a block. Could be this, right? So then when we create a page block, I would assume that anything in the structure of the block and its children, if you will, goes along with it from one page to another. Obviously, these other blocks have their own types. It may say, well, does it make sense to have like a container block? It doesn't do anything except hold other blocks. So then you could move that block around from page to page more easily. let's do that. Let's make a container type. Cool. So we can make a container. I know that's not a thing here necessarily, but I feel like something's implied when I create travel and I nest something under it. Well, I guess then the other question is, do you really need a container, or do you just move? Is the hierarchy all considered it's, you know, one block? Maybe as soon as you create hierarchy, they all move around together. So maybe we don't need container block. I'm gonna undo what I just did because I think I talked myself out of it. All right, we will get rid of that. I think I'd make a list its own block. Just so they move again, so they move around together. That's what this is kind of doing, but I think they had to create this. I don't know. That's a 3. Well, that's a heading 3 that is a toggle heading 3. So that really is the essence of a container. I can put stuff inside of a toggle. Okay. We'll come back to that. So we can do headers and titles and text right now. We can do hierarchy. And we have some types. All right, let's construct the data. As if it looks like something. So on my first page here, I'm going to make some blocks first. I think I'm just going to do this in Visual Studio, yeah. Probably just get the block types out too, right? Actually, we don't select those. I'm going to make an array or a map based on the names of these. There, that should make life a little easier when we want to create some stuff. So let's make a list of blocks. Let's see. That should work, right? That gets us heading. We'll make a heading 2 and a heading 3. Yeah, we'll put some text in there too. Do I have those names right? All right, how's this data look? It looks. Oh, you know what we can't do in a block right now is actually put any content in it. Guess that would help. What we've got is a type. Yeah, so let's see, how do we do that? Can all types accept rich text? So that heading looks like if you do a shift enter, it will break a line for you. But as soon as you hit enter, you get a new space for a new block. In here, right, we can do whatever we... So what's interesting is there isn't really like a rich text. It's not like a traditional rich text editor, right? So let's put some text in here, and then All right, I double click, I get a little bit of a lightweight editor. Sure, let's link to something, and then ooh, equations. Neat. Except I don't want to do that. And then we can do some. So what's interesting with Notion is it's like kind of has its own style sheet, like baked in. I'm sure you can edit this, right? But it sort of gives you here's the swatches that that play nice. Oop, I just created a new page, I think. What else can we do here? Symbols. Oh no, I see. Oh, okay. It's like just like shorthand stuff. Not what I want. And then back to the 3 dots. Yeah. Okay. So at the end of the day, yes, it can support rich text. They probably should support rich text. So we should assume every component can. I think we just assume the content is rich text. Big rich text. Sometimes it's just going to be plain old text, but we can store it as rich text nonetheless. Okay. So now we can put some content in these. Be interesting to see what this looks like when we do this, right? Like how hopefully Salesforce just saves it with what we give it and doesn't try to mangle a bunch of markup around it. I'm going to put some very clever content in here. Looks right. And that's text, okay. So there's 4 blocks. We have a page already, but maybe we just want to go do the whole shebang here. Oh wait, no, we're going to do title. Page 1. Okay. We create blocks, but they don't belong to anything yet. We probably need to do something more like this, right? No, let's keep them separate. I guess I can just do this, right? Insert new list. Okay, good enough. We'll have some IDs for those. And then we can loop over those, and we'll make some page blocks. Or we don't even need to loop them. Maybe we're just, I'm making this super literal right now. So PB1 is a new page block, and the page is the page up above. And then the block is the first block. Put all of them on the page. Oops. Nope. Okay, so we made a page, and then we're going to, we made 4 blocks. Insert those blocks. Make some page blocks so the blocks show up on the pages. Insert those page blocks. Okay, insert those, and then we should have some stuff all together here. And then I'm gonna just go one step further because we're gonna want to delete this stuff eventually. Those should go away if we delete the blocks, right? We'll delete the pages too. There we go. So don't run that all at once, but that should give us some data to work with as we're building this. I'm doing a lot of sit down, stand up today. I don't know. I'm sore. My back. All right, let's see how this all works. Run this, should get a bunch of data. Whoop. Block type on, oh, whoops. Some data. Yeah, made some data. Let's go see. How do we do? Page 1, 4 page blocks, which belong to Okay. All right, we got data. In case you're wondering, just keeping the home fires burning off to the side here. Oh no, the music. We lost our blip tracks. What are we gonna do? Gotta get my music. Can't work like this. Is it that one? It's that one. All right, what are we gonna listen to next? Do some electronic. Sure. Where were we? You guys don't want to watch me dance. It's embarrassing. Okay, here's a page. It's got some blocks, and those blocks point to, or it's got page blocks, and those page blocks point to blocks. So, yeah, junction object for the win. What is this sequence of these things on the page? That seems important. Because I can move these all around, put that above that, that below that, boop. I think we need a sequence on the page block. So I'm going to make this 2. Let's say you can have no more than 99 elements in the sequence, or 100 or whatever. So that's interesting. Right. Let's put this on. This is on the block, right? No, this is on the page block. Do we not have a page block? I don't think we do. I'm not going to put that on anything yet. I don't think we have a permission set for that yet. Nope. Page block. There we go. Side note. Summer 24 release notes for Minecraft? No. Salesforce. I can't wait for... I know it's only in beta, but I'm going to be able to find it. I can't wait to make trouble with this. Having native zip file support in Apex tells me that it's going to be a lot more fun to cause a lot more trouble with the metadata API, because creating zip files is no fun. There's one library out there called Zapex or something like that. I've never used it, but it was the only way to, and I was actually going to start playing with it because I am curious about just poking around on the platform and doing, using the metadata API directly on platform. And I know Andrew Fawcett's got a wrapper for the metadata API SOAP service. But I think with the metadata API, it'll be awesome if we can kind of sling our own files, and then we can go do stuff with those. So yeah, this will be fun. Hopefully, I'm looking for. I want to monkey around with it at some point here. I know it's not ready for prime time, but it will. We'll get ourselves ready to be ready for prime time. So yeah, hopefully coming soon. We'll do some zip file mania. Stay tuned. All right, page block admin. Let's add that to the group. music. Okay, so we got, let's see, we got some data. I mean, we're basically done, right? It totally works. Why am I so tired? Excuse me. Yeah, it's perfect. We're all set. Now we got to make this look like something, right? We got to like render this somehow. I think we're going to need a couple of Lightning Web components. I think so. Even to just maybe our mission today is I want to go to the page and I want to just see what this looks like. Oh, I also wanted to see what does the data look like now that we created it. All right, so let's run a quick query here. Select ID, content. So I just want to we are putting all the content into a rich text box. And are there any implications of doing that? Like, does it munge with the data at all? Does it wrap it in something weird? Looks okay. I was hoping that the answer was no, it's not going to do anything unnatural to the text. So far so good. Okay. That's cool. How shall we build this component? So we can't use the repeater thing in Flow. Looks super cool. But I don't think we can use that here. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't. Repeater components support these components. Doesn't support conditional field visibility. So we're basically looping on page blocks. So the page blocks block is what we want to display. So could I mean, let's try it. I haven't done anything with repeaters in Flow yet, so let's experiment here a little bit. I don't think it's going to get us like the interactive experience that we're looking for, but it's a start. I'm guessing we probably can't loop in a loop. So if we have any hierarchy there, it might not be able to get there, but let's try it. All right, well, screen flow, we need a screen. Try one of these out. What does it expect? Oh, wait a second. Is it for input only? Add a set of components to a screen to represent an item. Enable your users to add one or more instances of the item at runtime. To use the output of the component elsewhere in the flow, loop over the output and save the relevant data in a variable. So I think it's input only right now. Excuse me. I don't think there's a way to... Let me drag something in here. RPT1. Okay. I don't think this is what we're after. Oh, I have errors? What's my error? I'm probably going to throw this away, but so I can debug it, see what's going on. Okay. So it's for input, And then I guess if I want to use the outputs, can I loop over them? Yeah, we're not going to keep this. Okay. All right, so we're going to loop over that, and then what can I do here? It's something silly. Current loop item. Okay, so it understands that that was a text field inside of that. That's cool. But input only, right? So I can't loop over anything and output it yet. I could do that. I could do it a different way. I could create my own. Well, we could make a variable and then just keep appending to it the values that we want over the page blocks. We could do that. Let's do that. Again, super primitive, like not really what we're after. But let's say this is TNN page output. Make a whole new flow. All right, we're going to get rid of all this stuff. Oops. So this will, we should take a record ID input here. We can pass that in from the page. I think we need to requery though, right? Because we want a bunch of related stuff. We want the page blocks. I don't think those are going to come right out of the box for us. Sort by our sequence field, right? Which we haven't done anything with yet, but it's okay. They'll all be zeros. Okay, so once we have that, we can... just going to do a variable here. All right, let's loop over our page blocks. See what happens. I feel like I had to do this. I had to like use a formula. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like. And then we can show it on the screen at the end here. Look at Matt if we put those in divs, I wonder. Also, what happens if there is some... what if there is some markup in these? What happens? Now I'm curious what this output will look like if we do some... Let's go back to our query over here. So let's see, it wraps it in a paragraph tag. Kind of managed the rest of it okay. I would love if it didn't do, if it didn't do it this way. Even if it was a div instead of a paragraph. Maybe we just need to wholesale replace those, I don't know. But if we have that, now what does this look like? Yep, so it got a line break there. Okay. What we could do is let's make a formula, right? That is the, it's called like block container. We're going to make this, so this will be, we'll still use the current, oh wait, not the, we want the current page blocks content. Okay. And then we'll add that to the output instead, see what that looks like. So this should put a div around each of them. Yep, now break lines. Okay, cool. So again, not the most exciting in the world, but now we could add to this. We could add to our formula. Put some conditions in here that tell us what to wrap it in. This might become a nasty if statement, but if let's do this. We could say, all right, if it's heading 1, then we're going to do that. Otherwise, are you creating Notion on Salesforce so we don't have to use Confluence anymore? No. Yeah, well, I don't know. Give me a couple of weeks, right? Give me 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll probably have complete parity with Confluence in this version of Notion. Yeah, just a couple weeks should be done in no time. All right, let's see if we format this. If heading 3, we'll make it an H3. Otherwise, we'll make it a div. Oops. Is it cool with single quotes? I forget. Can find out. Is that right? I was lucky. Okay. So that all, we'll put all that in there, and then we'll do this, and then we'll put the exact same logic on the back half of this to close the tag. Again, I don't think this is the long-term direction, but let's at least get something started here. Okay. That's cool, except it doesn't line break on headings. So we can fix that. I think the answer is we just always output a div. And then I'm going to make this blank because this was the plain or the text option. And then we should always end with a div. Yeah, okay. That looks like something. Interpretations of the headings are completely based on how Flow wants to run. Did I make those capital? Are they all caps? Yes. All right, so it's not doing any weird capitalization there, but so there you go. There's it's basically done. There's Notion. Let's activate this. We'll throw it on our page. Our page. Nope, don't want to edit the object. Let's edit the page. While we're in here, we can I have not created any custom apps on the App Exchange. I've created a bunch of goofy apps that are on my GitHub page, but nothing commercially viable. Mostly just weird experiments and recreations of board games. So we'll take this off of here. Upgrade this. I think I got rid of too many of these. This is our page, so we want to put our flow over here. Pass that in. This is fine for now, just make sure it's working. I know a little DevOps. I'm not the best at it. I think I've learned a lot of DevOps by way of pain, and I guess a lot of years of learning what not to do. But other people on our team are super sharp at it. We have use GitHub Actions and everything pushes through source control and some org automation to do testing. Cool stuff, but they're way smarter than I am at it. Let's see, how's this look? Aha, output. Let's take the title off of there. Probably don't need to show the footer either. Okay. So let's see. We got our 4 blocks. No sequencing yet. We probably need to put some sequence on these. But they're sorted by sequence, even though there's nothing there. Let's see. Obviously, this is read-only, and we're unfortunately not going to be able to repeat over. We won't be able to take advantage of the repeater in Flow yet. I'm sure it's coming. You know, I'm sure the input side of it's super cool, and we'll probably have an output side of that at some point too. But for now, kind of poor man's output. It's a start. It just shows that our model is there. This isn't going to support any hierarchy either, because, well, I mean, I guess it could, right? We could query further beneath, you know, get page. Well, I guess that's a good question. So page blocks. That's not so much page blocks, right? It's the relationship between a block and a parent, because we have that, right? We have block can be the parent of another. Oh, we don't have that yet. Did I do that in the wrong object? I did it on page, right? So a page could be a parent of another page. We can sequence here. A block always lives on a page. I'm sorry, a page block always lives on a page. And then, but I don't think we ever did a block to block relationship, because I was talking originally about, hey, let's make a container block type, and then that would serve as a hierarchy. But I think if you are a block, excuse me, and you have a parent who's also a block, then you all live together in a yellow submarine. So let's do a parent here. Okay. Oh wait. Yes. Block. I feel like I did this. Block. Oh, I did. It's called block though instead of parent. Maybe we should call it parent, so it's not totally confusing, because like it just did to me. There. Okay. I wanna make some hierarchy here. I wonder if it's useful to, maybe I should have a blocks tab, just so we can access some of this stuff a little easier. I'm gonna go ahead and make that. An end user probably wouldn't need that, but as an administrator, I need to see more. Oh, it's good for a block. Cube? Box? Sure. I think we're going to have to update permission set. Okay. We got a block tab now. So I think it's just going to show us the text-only version of these because we definitely did some markup here. Yep. That's okay. So what would parenting look like? In Notion, I mean, I could just simply have a section or a heading, and then if that header has, if that header is the parent of stuff, then it's a, you know, it's a collection. So if we were to, let's see, go back to our blocks. These are all just standalone blocks. But maybe, maybe block 3, this heading is going to have some child content. So let's make, I'm just going to make it text. And what did we say? Block 3? So child 1. Child 2. Child 3. Okay. Now, those also have a sequence. Even, you know, so our page blocks have sequences because we tell them a sequence about the page. But now we also need a sequence about the blocks within a block. I think, right? Or you're not going to have, they won't have any context if they're moving around together. So I think we're going to need that. Maybe, is it child sequence? Is that what it should be called? Well, actually, we'll just say, all right, we'll just say sequence, and then put some. Okay. I'm going to throw sequence on here, even though it's going to be completely kooky. We can still edit it. Okay, so these are all children of block 3, and we'll say year number 1, 2, 3. Okay. So by creating the parent relationship, these 3 blocks are now children of block 3. So whenever we reference block 3 somewhere, the children are going to come along with it. I think that makes sense. So then how would we output that here? We get the direct page blocks. Can we traverse that? I don't think we can, because we're getting, let's see, we're getting the page blocks which have the will get me heading 3. But from there, we either need we probably need to requery. Because I don't think I can traverse that from here. I'm going to loop through. I'm on heading 3. Then it's really heading 3 dot blocks, right? That we're... Yeah, this is where we kind of get into like a recursive situation, which, you know, our flow's not going to be great at. Or I have to query out a bunch of flattened data and then recreate the hierarchy and then do Mojo that way. But that also doesn't sound like a lot of fun. We could... It could be a subflow. Could it be a subflow? Could we hand that off to a subflow to do the work? It's a lot of queries. I think that's the... Could that work recursively somehow? Could you... Here's a... I don't think a subflow can reference a subflow, though, right? I don't think... A subflow can't reference itself, as far as I know. I haven't tried that, but I'm going to guess that's the case. Because that's really what we're looking at here. I want to... Here's a block. Go get the children of that block. Do something with it. Go get the children of the block. Yeah. It's just not the funnest thing to do with flow. That's okay. You know, we got a little something started here. I do know the... Well, no, I don't. I don't directly know the... Because I can't access that, right? Let's see. If I'm in here... I just want to refresh this just in case there's some fields that weren't there before. Let's pretend to do an assignment here. Current item, yeah. That would be kind of cool, right? If the flow, if flow knew that this had a child relationship called blocks, the children basically, and then they created that as a collection, that'd be kind of cool. Because then even if we had to, like, we could be realistic with ourselves and say, hey, excuse me, if you're more than 4 levels deep, sorry, don't do this. Let's see, how does it care? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's make... I'm going to make a new section. Oops, where'd you go? Toggle, right? Toggles can hide and show content inside. So toggle 1. So toggle is what they use as a container. Now, can I put the toggle in the toggle? Yes. Can I put another toggle in the toggle? Can I duplicate this? Yes. Can we just keep going? So far, so good. Seems like we can go pretty deep here. Yeah, we can go pretty deep. So, in Notion land, you can go as deep as you want. In our world, to be determined. To be determined. All right, let's see. Very basic. Output of a page. We know heading 3 has some child content. We're probably getting to, I would say, the limit of what our flow is going to be able to do for us, unless we started making some very strange editing content. Managing content like this is not going to be very conducive to like a flow, and just unfortunately. So we're going to have to get some LWC going here pretty quick. We can do some recursion with our LWCs, and yeah, I think we're just gonna be heading that way. All right, let's take a quick break. Just grab a lunch, grab a drink. Apparently take some medicine because my back is killing me. And we'll be right back. I'll leave you with the sweet tunes. BRB and MUNIT or something. Did I spell that right? I don't know. See you in a minute. my belly is happy now. Yay. Let's get back to work, people. I don't think I've touched a Lightning Web Component in like 3 months. I've just been living in the flow. Going with the flow, you might say. But I think it is time to get a little LWC in our diet because I just can't think of a better way to handle this, what we're about to do here. So what are we basically building? I'll call it like it's an editor, right? We want to create the totally not Notion editor. So the editor would be associated with the page. Maybe it's a TNN page editor, and then we have a TNN block editor. Okay. All right, we need a page editor, and we're going to need a block editor, I think. The block editor is going to be recursive, I think. All right, so where do we start here? We're going to have, I think really the page editor is just a container for the, well, the first will be, let's see. We're going to go to a page. We're going to get the page blocks, which will also contain the blocks. That's what we're going to edit. The top level page has to loop through the blocks that are related, or the page blocks that are related to it. At the page level, there's not a lot of hierarchy, right? There's no hierarchy, in fact. But there is hierarchy within the page blocks themselves. Let's see, how's that gonna... What do we have in place right now? We have this. Well, not exactly this. I have a page. I don't really care about the block type for right now. So this page has, this is one that we have. This is like heading 3. Oops. Okay, so we have 3 of those. This would be like heading 1, heading 2. I know they're like totally out of order, but heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, child text 1, child text 2. So a page block is flat from the page blocks are flat, but then page blocks don't have children. They don't have hierarchy, but blocks do. So we have to look at a block and say, hey, what's inside of you? So what we're really doing here is looping in the page editor, we're looping the page blocks. And then they'll have a sequence. A page block relates to one and only one block. So we would then, we'll make some phony baloney data here. All right, so we're going to loop the page blocks with the assumption that we, have some. Let's make this an empty array so it doesn't bark at us. But he's not saving. Okay. So then we're going to loop our page blocks. And for each page block, we're going to probably pass it into a little weird. Pass it into the block editor, right? Page block. We need a key, right? Yeah. Okay. So we don't actually have any of this in place yet, but we do want to be able to pass a block to our block editor. Oops. Wait, what am I missing? Oh, my bad. Gotta be inside the class. Haha. I could do that on the other one too. Fix that, and then fix this, because that doesn't make sense either. Okay. So from the editor, we're going to load in the page. We're going to go to the page. We're going to load in the page blocks. We're going to loop over those. We're going to pass each block off to the block editor. And then the block editor is going to, oops, do stuff. First thing we need is really just the we need to be able to edit the block content, right? And then we need to we need to learn how to type. We're going to loop child blocks and then iterate, right? The recurse. The easiest way for us to do an editor right now is, I think, just use the. There's a lightning rich tech? Yeah. Is that the one we want though? That's the input. Yeah, yeah. So we do an input rich text for the. Okay. What do we have on here? We have block. It's going to be something like that. And we're going to loop the children. And then from there. We'll need to be able to handle a change on the so we want to handle a change of the content here. This kicks it all off. We need to get page blocks for the page. So I could write some DML, but I don't want to. I want to make a wrapper flow for this. So the flow can do the querying of the page blocks that we need. Pass those page blocks into our editor, because that's really kind of doesn't care about the page. I mean, we can pass the whole page in, the page and the blocks, so that the editor can do whatever we want it to do there. But if I do that, I don't have to write any Apex code to handle the querying. So now it's been a hot minute since I've done some of that too. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find that code. Way back in the days of Uno. is. No scratch org, but yeah, so I think it was we were building Uno a while back, and our Uno hand was the thing that interacted with a flow. So similarly, our page editor could be what interacts with a flow also. Let's grab this. I can repurpose this for the page editor. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for the page. I'm also going to pass in the page blocks because we can do that. We can do that query as part of the flow. And that's endpoint only 2. That'll be an array. I don't know if we'll have anything coming back yet. This might just be input only. Oh, yeah, we need a page property, don't we? And does this, I think this needs to be API-ified, right? If we do it this way. Yep, okay. So when we have that, now we can go back to our org and do a thing. So this is my page output. I'm going to try to be consistent with my naming conventions here. This will also be a screen flow. Here's our editor. We don't have a page yet, but we will. And we'll have page blocks too. We'll query for those. We haven't populated page blocks yet, but we will. Probably don't even need that variable. We can just pass this in. Okay. So we have what's in motion here? We got a flow that's wrapping our editor, so we can do the querying for what we need out of it. We're going to pass it directly from the record itself. This is the wrong project. We're going to not leave that open so I don't mess it up. Pass those in. Page and page block, those are going to our editor. They're just here to get passed through to the into the page block editor. We're going to know about the block. I don't think we're going to have I don't think we're going to be able to go any deeper than that, though. I think we're going to have to request on the block editors for more details, because we won't have the content, for example. So we'll need that. And then there's also, how do we get the child? How do we get the child page blocks? That's something that we just might have to query for. Yeah. I can't think of a great way to grab those when we're already in the context of one of our editors. I think we're just going to have to, because the other thing I can't do is query. I can't get a list of records natively. Well, wait, we could use the graph, use GraphQL. At least then we don't have to write Apex for it. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Where did I do that? Somewhere I wrote some GraphQL. I'll have to dig it out. I have it somewhere. It's like I have to look it up every time I do it because it's not. There's a lot of syntax there. And boy, where was that? It was in I got so excited there. It was in YCDRPG. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Here. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is a different project, and this is YCDRPG. We're building our role-playing game engine with Salesforce because why not? And it's hard. Turns out. But what we were searching for here, if I remember right, was getting an image, which was uploaded as a content document on a record to get like the avatar of a player. So we can wire here. Let's see, we get this is the method that we defined. This is what we're passing into it. And then our graph variable, let's see. I got to put a little bit of this back together in my noggin. Right, the get graph variables, so we return an object that has the variables in it that we want. We tell it here, we tell it what the operation is, which is the same name as this. These are the variables that we should be passing in. A whole bunch of nested stuff in here. And then we are querying on this object with these filters, returning this stuff. And you can do some hierarchy here, which is Neat. So we would basically want to wire a query for the children each time we, it's probably not great to run a query every single time in a component like this, but the alternative is build all the blocks up at the page editor, and which I guess we could do that too, right? We could get all the, it could pass in all of the blocks. Even have the flow do that? Oh, that won't work. Because we don't know, because page blocks, you can have blocks inside of blocks and the page doesn't know about those because they just live along with their block. So that won't work. I think we're gonna have to query. I don't think it's like the end of the world. I mean, okay, so we'll use this. And we're querying. We just want blocks, right? Whose parent equals something. Where the heck is a closing tag for this? Oh, I see. Right, this is wiring, so we need all of this. We need the result. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to take all of it. So much syntax there. We're on our block editor. We probably need let's see, we're going to wire. Oh, we need to bring this in. What do we actually need to pass in? Just the parent, right? I think that's all we need. parent ID, and then we're it's like a weird like pseudo JSON. Like I don't, the syntax is mind-boggling for me. We don't want this allows us to query like child. Yeah, I think just give me the name and the content. Okay, that's the variables we need to pass in here. And with the parent ID, block where parent equals that. And can you sort? Can you? Oh. Okay. Order by sequence. Choose order by sequence. Sure. Again, syntax just piled on top of syntax. Should make some kind of like, I don't know, like SOQL to graphical converter. That would be fun and easy, I'm sure. It would be fun for a little while. Well, they think this is what we want. Let's see. Can we get a query out of this before the end of the show? I don't know. At this point, I think I just have to see the data that comes back because I can't remember. I think every edge has a node, and those are the actual records that we want, and the data is on those. So we would have to loop through the edges and grab the node on each of them. But yeah, I mean, this hypothetically will work. Let's see what kind of trouble we get into when we save it. Okay. Subselection required for type rich text area value on content. Let's see here. Subtype subselection required for, I gotta look this up. I have no idea. Subselection. I was just curious, is there a... Hey, hey. Neat. This is what? This is a Node, yeah, it's a Node app. Because I don't think we can actually dynamically... Where are you? Can we make that dynamic? Anyway, subselection required. What? Definitely want to come back to that at some point. This is GraphQL, so subselection. Am I just missing commas? Mm-mm. Okay, there's something here. Oh, wait, do we have to put it in the value? Not sure if that's right either. Okay. Well, let's fire it up. see what happens in the editor here. Probably should get Lightning Debugger. Okay, bunch of text editors. Something happened. There's not much going on in the block editor, so let's see, can I just rerun this? There it is. So no edges there, but are we're running this each time, I think. We got 4 components to show, so let's check next. 0, 0. I was hoping the last one would have, no, okay. So something's off with our query then. Because if I look at the data, let's see, we do have 4 page blocks. The last one has, no, it's the third one, I think. The third page block has, oh wait, does our block, hold on. I don't think block 5 is referenced anywhere. No. So we got to put, let's swap this out. Oh wait, I can't, darn it, I can't reparent. Let's edit that. Let's see, we'll make this 5, because I think 5 has the, yeah. Is that right? I hope that's right. Block, oh wait. I'm sorry, block 3 is the parent of 5 and 6. Yeah, so it actually should have come back. We got stuff out, but I should output the, at least output the ID or the name of these things as we show them. And then we'll probably have to wrap it up here for the day. Or maybe we can at least see what this, it gets a little confusing. Okay. That didn't show me the field values. One more time. All right, that's weird. Oh wait, that's in the block, so maybe we do the same in the page. See, does that work? Okay, one more time. Excuse me. So it's PB3, right? Page block 3 that points at block 3 that should have the children under it. So, okay, here's where we're expecting stuff and we're not getting it. That's okay. We did some stuff. It was cool. We should have this done by next week. The whole point here is like if we want to make this start to feel at anything like how Notion does this, we're going to need to figure out some editing inline. This is like the extreme of inline editing. Maybe we need to use some content editable stuff. Maybe we need to strip down our rich text editor. I'm sure we're going to have to do some custom mojo around this to get it going. But I don't know. We started somewhere. So we got like a little bit of data, a little bit of concept in there, and see if we can get this to input and output, and we'll go from there. So I'm good. I feel good about it. I hope you all do too. I'm good about a Friday afternoon and wrapping things up here a little bit and finish a couple minutes early because I'm not going to start anything and finish it in the next 10 minutes. So thanks for hanging out. See you next week. I think World Tour in New York City. I hope I'm back and conscious in upstate New York after being in New York City for a couple days. So plan on a show, hopefully. Thanks, y'all.